Hello. I really liked your video. Um, it brings up something that I either acknowledge or I propose, that these kinds of questions, when talking about determinism in any single way, I know you don't want to talk about free will, you're more talking about the individual, um, and how it relates to the self and the body and whatever. But I think all of these kinds of dilemmas or arguments when it comes to asking who we are all comes down to the scope of what you're looking at, of what you're considering. Because to merely identify yourself as the seeing, as the presence, I think is pretty much denying you all your qualities. When I say, if I believed that I was some special void removed from the real world and looking down through some looking glass, I would be lying to myself if I were to say I have dirty blonde hair or I have blue eyes, because then I would have to say, no, it's merely the body that I occupy that has the blue eyes and the brown hair. And if I'm grumpy, per se, then I can no longer say I am grumpy. I would have to say, oh, it's the body that's on this earth that's grumpy. I'm not the one that's grumpy. It's this body of mine. Or if I don't, people could probably say this, that let's say a drunkard or something is like, oh well, it's not me that's addicted to the alcohol, it's this dumb body of mine that's addicted to the alcohol, and in the end, you simply associate all of your qualities to this body rather than to the thing that you suppose is you. But you're wrong. You are it. You are the body. You are this person. The person is here. The person isn't just up here. This is my hand. It's a part of me. It's a part of my system. It's the system that I am responsible for. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I am that presence that's above here and that presence is responsible for this. I'm saying that I am this, and that's why I'm responsible for it. It's because I'm conscious of it, and I'm conscious of the decisions that are being made. I think that in the situation that you're talking about, of the guy that's being poked up in the brain, I think it would be a mistake to say that he didn't change his mind. You could say that he was under the impression that he was entirely in control of his own decision, but I think he still changed his mind as to where he was going to move his leg. I just think that someone else was forcing him to change his mind. When we say that that we think that we're in control, that I think I'm in control when I say, you know what, no, I'm going to use the urinal instead of the toilet. I guess I'm just alluring to this because I just happen to be a bathroom, so I'm probably just pushed in an instinctive direction to talk about that. I mean, I can talk about that too. I mean, that itself is brought upon by these associations that are made. There's no difference between me saying that there's associations being made and associations that I'm making. They're all happening within my brain, within my body, within my structure, and that's the thing. Those are all in accordance to the experiences that this body has had, or that I've had. They're interchangeable, and all of those are also intermingled through the experience that my parents had in conceiving me, because that led to the genetic workup that would make the framework that would later change and morph because of mutation, whatever, and through growing, and that would receive all these associations through its experiences as a system that managed itself. And in the end, you can also just say that all of these processes are associations that were made. And then you can, in the end, say that, oh, well, I don't exist then, or I'm not responsible for anything. But I just think that's a wrong way of looking at it. You are the system. You are making choices. And for me to say that, oh, well, I'm only making this choice because I have a certain nature. I'm imprisoned. Oh, I'm determined by my personality that's ingrained within me, and I can't deviate from it. First of all, you can deviate from it because of this whole quantum jump things, where you can't exactly predict things on a small level. So little variations will happen. But I'm not really talking about that. I'm saying that you can't say that, oh, well, I'm not in control, it's my personality that's in control. What do you think was in control? You're just as free in this situation as you are determined. Of course I want to be determined by my own personality, because that determination is what allows me to do what I want to do. If I want to play the piano, it also means that I'm determined to play the piano, because it's a volition that I am experiencing, it's a volition that I have. I wouldn't want to say, oh, well, I'm not determined by anything, and so I'm going to say, well, I want to play the piano, and I get up and all of a sudden I go try to play the violin, but I don't know how to play the violin, so I suck and have a miserable experience. That's what would happen if I wasn't determined, but that's not what happens. So that's what I'm getting at. People are looking at this the wrong way and saying, oh, well, it just means that I'm not there. No, you are there. You're just basically not thinking of yourself inside this equation. It's the same thing with the whole free will question, saying, oh my goodness, because all of this input and everything and genes and the experiences that we have that form ourselves, it means that, oh, we don't have free will. You're still making decisions. If you look at it, let's say, objectively, and you look down on your system, it's still managing. The system has a certain personality, it has tendencies and associations, and those associations are dictating what it's going to do. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I want it to be that way because I am that system. I am it. And I'm going to act the way I want. And the way I want is going to be determined by the previous things that I did. And those things are going to be dictated by the previous things that I did. My experiences are going to permit me to learn new things and to make new decisions. That's the whole process. And I guess that's probably also part of the realization, well, the Buddhist realization. I'm not particularly a Buddhist myself, but I guess I can understand it when you say, well, I am it, I am the universe. Because I guess you could look at it this way, that I form myself through my own decisions and through my own experiences. And before I was born, those themselves were formed by previous associations and previous decisions or interminglings. So it's like a straight line, I guess. I'm a descendant of the things that happened before I was born, and not even like in a gene sense. I'm also completely related to the experiences that I had, maybe almost as much, or as much as, well, I guess almost as much as my own genealogy. So I am it, or I am my body, whichever the way you want to look at it. That's the way I'm looking at this. So I'm self-determined, or I am determined. I don't think there's a difference between the two. Thank you, and I hope that made enough sense for you to appreciate it. Goodbye, and good night.